too. Seaweed is cheap, plentiful and nutritious, but will we ever learn to love it? All this week we're looking at the coastal harvest offered up by the waters around the British Isles, and today Nancy Nicholson is out with the seaweed gatherers on the banks of the Firth of Forth.
Underneath that grey sea, an enchanted forest of beautiful seaweeds will reveal itself at low tide. Reds and greens and browns and all sorts of flavours and colours.
I'm down on the shore at Granton, on the outskirts of Edinburgh, and I'm with Fiona Houston of Mara Seaweed. Fiona, we're looking across the Firth of Forth to Fife, which is where you harvest all your seaweeds. What are you harvesting there?
Everything from dulse to sea lettuce to alaria to sugar kelp.
So you are harvesting under licence from the Crown Estate. Are you allowed to take only a small amount of seaweed, and do you pay for that privilege?
We have a licence that we pay for, and we have a certain biomass that we take. We submit all sorts of biomass surveys and environmental sustainability surveys as part of our licence. But it's very sustainable because we're not mechanically harvesting. We're only currently harvesting from the seabed at the lowest monthly tide, so there's a limit to how much we can get, even if we wanted to get more.
So do you have teams of people out there harvesting by hand with knives?
Yes, and we go out with a crew and we haul it off the beach, off the seabed, and bring it up by hand, yeah.
So something that was really a poor man's food and maybe went out of fashion because it was for poor people when they were hungry, you are now marketing as a prized product to chefs and overseas.
Yeah, it's really an ancient superfood for modern thinkers. I mean, it's full of nutrients. We're selling it into some of the top restaurants throughout the UK, but we've got our eyes on Asia, where seaweed is eaten on a daily basis.
The tide is in here, but you do have some examples of what you harvest in front of us here, sitting on the sea wall, and they're all different colours and shapes. Starting with this little one, it looks like shredded lettuce, but much, much darker, all shriveled up and dried.
When we first started into this, we said exactly like you, it doesn't look very sexy, so what we decided, how can you make people want to eat it? So we made it look beautiful and put it in fantastic packaging, and we milled it into a flake so you can use it like a herb or a salt. So you can eat it like this.
Okay, let me try it. You're selecting a bit. Okay, this looks like a bit of purple dried up paper that's gone slightly mouldy.
Oh, you see that mould? You see that stuff that you think is mould? That is the umami salts. So actually, we have chefs that ask us for that stuff that you actually call mould, because they scrape that off, because that's the fifth taste. That's the thing that gets on your taste receptors and makes everything feel so amazing.
It does taste quite nice, actually. It
tastes. I see.
It tastes. It smells a bit fishy.
The skeptic.
It smells fishy, but it tastes all salty. It kind of tastes of the sea, I suppose, and it's not slimy.
No, what you're getting here is a elixir of good stuff, because what we've done is we've taken the wet, slimy stuff, dried it, and then given it to you in its purest form.
So next time I'm walking along the beach and the tide is low and I see some seaweed, I should be out there taking a little bit and drying it and using it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I got into the first place, is through foraging. I just got fascinated. So yeah, just be careful where you harvest and
don't go into your patch.
Don't be thinking that you're commercially harvesting on our patch, otherwise we'll be after you.
Nancy Nicholson sampling the seaweed on the Firth of Forth.